Now we move on and we stay in Africa. A series of drone attacks targeted the Sudanese capital, Khartoum, for multiple hours. The Sudanese military has said that the army had shot down most of the drones, which targeted 2 army bases in the capital's northwest. Since April 2023, Sudan's army has been at war with the Paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, known as RSF, who have regularly attacked army positions using drones. And eyewitnesses in Omar Duran, part of Greater Khartoum, has stated that they saw drones flying over the city and heard loud explosions coming from the north through the night. The Sudan Shield Forces, an armed group allied with the army, has stated that 2 of its members were killed by a drone in the East Nile district of Khartoum. Now for this discussion, we welcome Abdullah Hussein. He's a journalist, joins us live from Sudan. Thank you very much, Abdullah, for joining us. Welcome to NewsX World. Now, with the recent drone attacks targeting Sudan's capital, how do you assess the evolving security situation in the country?
Yes. First of all, thank you so much for having me on NewsX. What we're seeing now is a continuation of the RSF's, the paramilitary long-standing strategy of targeting vital infrastructure and civilian areas to spread fear and disrupt daily life. And I believe that it's not to achieve any real military objectives on the ground. The latest wave of drone strikes, which hit Idba Bikr, it's a village in the eastern part of Khartoum, the capital of Sudan, and also at Dabba in the northern state. It was yesterday, and it clearly reflects this idea. These attacks killed 7 civilians, including a doctor and his son in eastern parts of Khartoum, and injured others. So the same pattern appeared before when the RSF, the paramilitary rapid support forces, used such drone attacks to attack power stations and fuel depots in different parts and different states of the country, also in different cities. Like Afbara in the River Nile state, also Port Sudan in the eastern part of the country, and also including Omdurman in the capital and Bahri also. They are trying to paralyze the capital's basic services. However, the Sudanese armed forces staff responded as usual. Most of the drones, and it's a suicidal drone type, were shot down before even reaching their intended targets. The Army's ground-based air defense units proved once again that Khartoum remains under firm control and under the current government.
And Abdullah, given the Sudanese military reportedly shot down most of these drones, how prepared do you think the country's military is in defending against these types of aerial threats, and what impact might this have on civilian safety?
Yes, it's quite an issue, of course. The situation is quite serious, but I believe it's not out of control. The RSF's reliance on drones shows their desperation, not a dominance. The Sudanese armed forces maintains the upper hand in this equation, both in defending the capital and also preventing the RSF from achieving any meaningful breakthroughs. And I believe this is their agendas. The army is trying hard enough to try and preserve lives and try to protect civilians across the country. These attacks tell us that the RSF is shifting deeper into unconventional and destructive warfare and moving away from open battles to targeted drone strikes, which is meant to damage infrastructure and terrorize civilians across the country. The RSF now holds several battlegrounds to their own control. They have most of the Darfur region, excluding Al-Fasher, of course, which is still besieged in the western part of the country. We have seen this before in Omdurman city when drones were sent toward the Wadi Sayyidna military base, one of the basic and one of the huge bases in the country were sent toward the Wadi Sayyidna military base, and some of the power stations in the capital, and at that time it caused a blackout in the entire capital. We saw it again in Al-Fasher, the besieged city, where the RSF drones bombed a civilian shelter, killed over 50 people, mostly women and children, And now we are seeing that again across Khartoum and the northern regions, where civilian homes and public facilities have become the main target.
With that, I would like to thank our guest, Abdullah Hussein, for joining us and sharing your insight as a journalist from Sudan. Thank you very much. Now we move on and we stay in Madagascar, Africa. Sorry. The CAPSAT military unit has